What's up, guys? We've gotten word that the White House is going to be releasing new executive orders and actions here, in addition to more legislation to pass through more stimulus provisions. And this is your Build Back Better, Building a Better America stimulus package and stimulus update. Now, you guys, we've got the update for you. We're gonna be taking a look at this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Does the president need to pass executive orders and action for more stimulus provisions? Now, in addition to that, we have $800 billion of leftover funds. Maybe he could use that for stimulus provisions, maybe a fourth and a fifth. We're hearing stimulus check, there's so much leftover child tax credits, other additional provisions that people might need at this time. Now we're going to be hearing from Pramila Jayapal, head of Progressive Democratic Caucus in the House of Representatives, who is the same in addition to the legislation they're working on. They also giving to be pushing for executive orders and actions, and they're saying that we need this at this time. They don't want everything happening in Ukraine and Russia to overshadow the need of this domestic agenda. Now also, we're going to be hearing her say they need to get this done not only to help out the American people at this time that are hitting a 40-year high inflation, but also it is a midterm election, which means they need to get something done in order for them to maintain their control in Congress. And as you know, right now the Democratic Party, they control the House of Representatives, the Senate, and also the presidency. And they're saying that we got to get something done to convince the American people to keep us in power. Because historically, what we've seen is that when one party is in full control and if they don't get things done, well, the American people will say you didn't do your job and they will vote to get the other party in power and will likely flip. So they're saying they got to get something done here right away. Now, let me know your thoughts on this. In addition to that, right now, so with everything going on in Russia and Ukraine, gas prices are skyrocketing, and reading more legislation is on the way to cut off all Russian oil supply to the United States, which is likely going to cause it to go even higher. Should we provide more stimulus provisions to help combat and offset the oil prices? And we're hearing that some states are going to be passing their own forms of stimulus checks to do just that. Let's hear from Pramila Jayapal on pushes for additional legislation, domestic agenda, and even executive orders and actions on the way. We've got some breaking news to get to shortly, but for now, with all eyes focused on Russian invasion of Ukraine, there's concern that the domestic agenda is being pushed to the back burner, with critical issues like police reform, voting rights, and Build Back Better stuck in limbo. So how can Dems address the crisis abroad and take care of business here at home? And Republicans are not off the hook either. Joining me now, Representative Pramila Jayapal. She is chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Congresswoman, look, Ukraine is sucking up all the oxygen in the room right now. Understandably, what happens there will cast a wide net of influence across the globe. So I understand that makes sense. This week, President Biden is meeting with the Labor Secretary and Labor leaders today. A lot happening here domestically. Obviously, a war on the European continent affects everybody, and it affects us in terms of, the basics of how we operate every day, including, of course, gas prices. But I will just say that there's a connection between what we are trying to do domestically and what we are trying to do internationally. Let me give you 3 ways that's the case. First of all, democracy, we are both in the European Union, and with the war on Ukraine, the aggression of Russia on Ukraine, and here's the United States, we are trying to show that democracy works. We cannot allow suppressions of votes domestically, nor can we allow dictator in Europe or anywhere in the world to take over, so that is a real connection. Secondly, if you ever want to be truly free of the ability of dictators to blackmail us over oil and gas, we should be investing right here at home in renewable energy technologies. We should be weaning ourselves off fossil fuels so that situation that we are in does not happen again. In terms of, feeling like we can't stop Russian oil and gas imports because it's going to drive up prices here at home. By the way, no matter what we do, prices of gas are going to go up. So any Republicans who try to say that it's real, baby drill, and that solves the problem is wrong. That is not the case. We are going to see gas prices rise but it is the service to try to quell a dictator. And finally, if we want democracy to work, then we also got to show that we don't have these massive inequalities of wealth and income, which is why we need to lower the cost of childcare, lower the cost of housing, lower the cost of prescription drugs, so that we can show people that it actually matters to have a democratic country, a country that invests in everybody. Well, we really have to call it out, and we can't forget that under Donald Trump, if people think that elections don't have consequences and their vote don't matter, what if it would be like right now if Donald Trump were in power? This is the same man when he was president who actually withheld congressionally approved aid to President Zelensky because he wanted President Zelensky to launch an investigation of Joe Biden's son's company Burisma. And so I think we have to understand this as a president who has continued to bring up Vladimir Putin as a dictator, and there are some in his party that continue to do that. Here at home, we have Republicans who are essentially, as you said, espousing the same tactics as Vladimir Putin in his own country, acting like a dictator and suppressing the power of the vote. So on voting rights, which I know is so important to you and I, the thing we have to do in the absence of federal legislation, we're going to continue to push, but unless we reform, we'll eliminate the filibuster, and we need 50 votes to do that, and we don't have that in the Senate. We're gonna have to focus on the groundwork communities across the country. This is your opportunity to make sure we're training up poll watchers out there working early on voter registration. On voter turnout, we have to do a jiu-jitsu move here, and we have to show people that there's nothing that they can do to suppress our votes. We're just going to turn out even bigger, even more assured about our vote, and do everything we can to protect it. Well, there you have it, you guys. That was Pramila Jayapal, head of Democratic Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives, and she's saying that in addition to the legislation that they're going to be passing for more stimulus, they're also going to be passing executive orders and executive actions from the president. So I will keep you up to the date. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Can't wait to share with you guys, but I'm not quite yet. Just stay tuned. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one.